Oh snap! Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube?
What's up, everyone?
We are back for a brand new Flash review, y'all. So this is gonna be the spoiler review section. So if y'all have not seen the episode, the name of the episode, first of all, is The Trap. If you haven't seen it yet, do not watch this at all. Don't look at it at all. This episode has so much content and revelations that I don't even know if I can articulate it as much as I really want to. But I think one of the biggest draws that I saw is the fact that Wells is a genius, and he's a maniacal genius at that. When the beginning of the episode, when they were in the time chamber, and they were meeting and talking with, I guess her name is Gideon or whatever, and she was kind of talking about like what was going on and who is Harrison Wells in the sense of what's going on. Like the fact that she had said that Barry was the one that created her, that threw me. But then she kind of went on to allude, it was like, yeah, Barry Allen, XYZ, head of CSI, head of the police department, this, that, and other. And then one of the main core members of, I was like, she's about to say the Justice League. I thought that was freaking awesome. I thought that was just cool by itself. But then the fact that we find out later on in this whole episode that Wells has set everything from who Iris was going to talk to and meet, how Iris and Eddie were going to meet up and talk and communicate, spoiling every single thing that they think they know, like everything that's on the chart that Barry had. He had surveillance and set everything in motion. And like, I was like, honestly, I was scared for Cisco's life. Like, quite honestly, I was like, Brett, Barry is asking too much. He's like trying to get Cisco to be bait to a man that he couldn't even stop, let alone kill. So I was like, I understand you trying to, get a confession out of Wells and all this and that, but I was like, you're putting Cisco in danger, And then after the point when like Wells kind of walks up, stuff like that, I was like telling Joe, Joe, this isn't right. Like, this makes no sense. Why would Wells, as smart as he is, go along with this and just kind of walk up there nonchalant, knowing that they have something out for him, And they thought they were smart. They were like, I'm gonna reverse the polarity of the trap from the last time, so it's like it's not gonna keep any speedster in. And then like the dude kind of puts his hands up. I was like, wait, why is his hand not shaking? Why is it not that, in the last time when he killed Cisco, he was moving back and forth to show how he could have two different places at once. Like, why is this not happening? And then, like, when Joe shot the two shots, I was like, oh, all right, Barry's going to catch both bullets. That was cool. But then he missed one and went straight to the heart. I was like, nah, something is off. And then revealed it's the Everywhere Man that from, was it 2 episodes ago or last week?
Yeah, pretty much that. Chameleon guy.
Basically. He gets shot and killed.
And killed and he dies.
And Wells set the whole thing in motion. He's just somewhere out and about just chilling. And I was like, this is nuts. Like, my mind had kind of like burst at that moment. But what was some of the notable things, I guess, from this episode you took away from it? Because there was a lot that went down. I definitely didn't talk about anything.
See, the main things that happened.
It's like, a lot, though. You got what happened with Iris.
3 things was...
You had the flashbacks.
The like, Harrison Wells, a.k.a. Eobor Thong, he pretty much reveals his whole plot that he set up everything. He's a criminal mastermind. Second thing is, Iris actually finds out that Barry is the Flash in this episode.
But you gotta break that down, how he did that, though, or how she did that.
And then I'm gonna get to that. And then, lastly, I feel bad for Eddie.
I don't.
Come on, this dude's. He's just an ordinary guy.
I get it.
He's an ordinary guy just thrown into this situation. And, he cares about Iris. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even have an opportunity. Anyway, let's go in order here. Okay, so kind of backtrack how Iris finds out that Barry is the Flash. So they do a flashback sequence where Barry was in the hospital, right? He's actually laid out in a coma, or pretty much like a state of unconsciousness. He's laid out, bedridden. And you see Iris, she's by his bedside, and she's talking to him, and she's pouring her heart out to him. And, he's unresponsive, but she reached for his hand, and then his hand shocks her. Like, you actually see the little bolt of lightning, like, his hand actually shocks her. And, so the part where she finds out that Barry's a Flash, that same thing happens when the situation arose when Eddie was actually about to propose. So Sam actually got this right. He got this right. He said, and y'all could go back and see the reviews where he was like, I think Eddie's gonna propose. He proposed. But, alright, so when a situation where Iris was being proposed to by Eddie, let's see, Eobor broke all that joint up. He was like,
he took the ring.
He took the ring, and he pretty much took Eddie. Like,
yeah,
he took him. And then Flash runs up behind Iris and says to Iris, I'm gonna get him back, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, she reaches for him, grabs his hand, and it shocked her. So,
but it was like a slow burn though, because the thing was that there were different flashback sequences that kind of happened. There was one for Joe, where Joe, he kind of like, he was desperate because he saw Barry having these sieges. They couldn't do anything about it. And then Harrison Wells showed up, and I didn't realize this. He was desperate. He needed to have some kind of way of keeping Barry alive, so he trusted Wells. And then that's kind of where the segue came in with Iris's flashback. But even before that even happened, like, Eddie kind of basically went to Joe and was like, look, I want to propose, And what put in motion from that is Barry was basically vexed from the whole entire thing. Like, he was like, look, that's Eddie's boo, And he's kind of got this self-defeat kind of mentality about it.
How do you feel about that, though? Do you think Joe did the right thing by saying no?
Yeah, because he explained himself. Joe said that one day it's going to come time, and Iris, she's an emotional person given from circumstances that's happened in her past. She just does things without thinking about them on an emotional impulse. So she's going to say yes on that consensual notion, but she's going to make a mistake. And he revealed to Barry, he's like, look, she's going to marry the wrong man because what she really cares about, what she really knows, she might not realize it, is that she loves you. And that whole fact about that is, it can be even shown, like, when she went to Barry, she was like, look, I have a revelation to you. She got all close and stuff like that. Girls don't do that unless they have not only the level of trust, but something really internal they want to talk about. And for me, she was talking about, like, this is what happened. This is all about Harrison Wells. This is what happened with the explosion. This is all tied together. I feel like that was on the back fold to what she really was feeling on the inside. I feel like she was saying all that to say, look, I have something more I have to express, but I can't even understand how to go there. There's a connection with this. To me, like, I know that Barry saw when he went to the room that Iris was going to eventually be his wife, or could be his wife. And I think that Barry honestly was afraid of that being a possibility, something good happening for you. A lot of us, we go through situations where we get hurt time and time again, and we get shut down time and time again, and we fear the things that are best for us, or even possibility of something good happening for us. And I think Joe knows for a fact that he really wants and believes what's best for Iris is this man that he's loved and cared for since he's been a kid. And that's weird, but it's true.
Also, I would like to point out, before Eobor broke the joint up, she was kind of like standoffish. I don't know if you picked up on it.
She was.
We don't know if she was going to say yes or no.
I don't think she would have. I don't think she would
have said yes either.
I think she would have said, like, well, I got to think about it.
Yes, because she was like...
matter of fact, she picked up Barry's picture of her and him. And that's when the flashback came back. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe we're going deep into this.
Why is that going deep? I mean, because I'm thinking, like, this is a spoiler review, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking these guys probably already watched the episode. So, I mean, we can tell you what happened in the story, but your guys probably already seen it already.
But it is, I mean, the relationship between Iris and Barry is an intricate part of not just the mythology, but then the dynamics of this whole entire story, because Iris is connected to Joe, and Barry is connected to everybody else, of course, but Iris has a way of weaving into everybody's situation with, like, she's the only one that doesn't know what's going down, you know?
Who now, though?
And now she has an idea that she does. And if Barry, mark my words, y'all, if Barry goes and says to her, if she goes and questions Barry, look, are you the Flash? If this ninja says no, it's going to be a reckoning. And it's going to be far worse than what Harrison Wells or Eobor Thawne could do. Like, she will bury Barry. I promise. Quote me on that. Tweet that joint. She will bury Barry. But on the real, though, he needs to open up and be honest with her and stop being afraid of something good happening for him. I understand it's a situational standpoint, but this episode has some awesome moments in it too. Because when Barry had found this fire that was going to, which I think that Harrison Wells set it up, he used his arm to move very fast to be able to push the whole fire out. He never done anything like that before, and I thought it was cool because it's weird, the relationship between Eobor Thawne and Barry Allen, and even in the last part of it, which they took a long time with after the credits this time. They really made and established, like, what is it that Eobor really feels for Barry. And you can tell now that there is a real hate and love relationship. Like, he really has grown to care about this boy, but the man that he grew up fighting when he was older is the person that he hates. And so he had to create him, but he had to love him in order to do that. And so, like, it's so interesting because when Barry was faced with the realization that he can't do this, Harrison was the only one that could really drive him to do it. And that's so weird. That makes for one of the best kind of villains ever. Just on that standpoint, that their relationship is like that. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen, but I think I do have one more theory. I think that all the things and events that are happening, whenever Barry peaks or does something he's never done before, I think that charges the suit to the point that Harrison can one more step get further where he needs to be. And I think it all has to do with the Speed Force, and we'll see what kind of happens. But yeah, I mean, I give this episode 10 out of 10 just because there was so much for me to talk about. I'm sitting there, I haven't even gone through the notes I really wrote. This is one of the better episodes for me. But what else you got, Joe? All right, what's your final stance on this all?
This episode of 10, man. It was an episode, you know, like we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
We've all been waiting for this episode, and there it is.
So yeah, we enjoyed it. Definitely go and check it out on CWTV.com. Check it out on Hulu Plus tomorrow if you've got it. And if you watched it tonight, definitely leave your comments in the section below because this is the spoiler-filled review, so it's all good. For any spoilers at the bottom, talk about it. If you like this review, please leave a like below. And yeah, we're gonna probably do a non-spoiler review real quick. It's gonna be real short and sweet. But thanks everybody for watching. This is SCL0220 signing out. Later, everybody.